to just let everybody get in instead of rushing into what I want to talk about. So it's like that time before church. I say that often. Get time to say hello to everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Evening, morning. I probably should put my brace on. I've been putting my dang brace on because, baby, this knee is kneeing, honey. Hey, everybody. Hello. Hello. I'm trying to wait till everybody get in here because I know it's going to be a thing. And I'm going to get water. And then, what else did I just say I needed? Rainfall ain't no joke here. It's a real thing. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You just finished both movies, honey? Uh-oh, sorry, I didn't take my sag off. Because y'all know I just threw some on. Because, baby, a couple of things. What's starting to happen is weirding me out a little bit. I'm going to tell y'all why. Yeah, we need a little bit of color in here. There we go. Who was in the class last night? Was anybody in the class last night? And y'all keep missing calls from people. Text, because I'm normally up and I ain't going to bed until the sun come up. I do not know what this is about. Oh, you said I was just thinking about you at Miss Frizzle. Hey, Pumpkin. Auntie got up and I washed my dishes and scrubbed the stove and just kind of whatever. And I gotta start my hydro garden today. You did? To those that did go watch the Devil Conspiracy, tell me it's not mind blowing to you. Tell me it don't make you think about a lot of the stuff that's in our news right now. And you know who I really thought about? Who watched it? Okay, if you didn't, it's okay. But to those y'all know, okay, adults, right? Because I have to do that, and sometimes it'd be a lot. So, and I gotta start doing stuff that make me feel free. Like I'm not an artist, but I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? And crafting and doing stuff like that, it makes me feel good. It makes me get lost for a minute, so I don't have to think about the end of the world or nothing. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna have to do some stuff. You know? Okay. So the way it flipped, hey Queen, hey, the way it flipped at the end, because what happened to God when he went down into a human body? Let's talk about that real quick. What happened when God went down into a human body? He became what? What did he become once he put his spirit down into a human body? There were some things that came with that. He became weak. He became subject to the flesh. Did he not? So even though he was God in all power, part of his spirit in this body, there are certain restrictions that the flesh has. You can't push a body. That when I was watching it, yeah, I just finished watching it here a minute ago, like because I fell asleep again on it. But I went on and watched it, and at first there were some parts I was like, wait a minute. But then at the end, I'm like, oh my, Lucifer wanna be God so bad, right? That he about to put himself in a place of weakness. He's an eternal being. But when you are in the flesh, there are certain things that you're subject to. He be, he did. Right. But Lucifer is about to do the same thing. Trying to imitate. And then what messed me up is in the show, in the movie, if you ain't watched it, I'm sorry, because we about to talk about it. When did they tell us they found the shroud of Turin? Can somebody Google that for me? When did the Shroud of Turin start going on exhibit? This messed me up right here. I ain't even gonna lie. And I was like, oh my God, I believe we had a conversation about this a little bit. But do y'all know what year the Shroud of Turin start going on? What's the name? Yeah. But when did it go on what's the name? The movie is called The Devil Conspiracy, y'all. When did it go on tour where people could see it at museums? Remember they was like they found the Shroud of Turin, the shroud that Jesus was wrapped in, and all of this old stuff, and they was showing it, and it's in movies. When did they start showing it to the people? Or when did they say they found it? Do y'all know when? Anybody know? You could Google it. I just want to see something. Please. I said, oh my goodness. Oh, in 2015. It says 2015 is when they started putting it out. Really? They found it in 1354, but they put it out. Okay. 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 They found it in 1354. The shroud was first photographed in 1898. They found it in the 1300s. Ooh. Okay. Y'all know that rich old man that was sitting is his name Peter Vanguard? Is that his name? Is his name Peter Vanguard that was sitting there with all them young black girls? And he was talking about our genetics and the genetic code that is written into our bodies and stuff. Is that his name? Is that his name? Yeah. The people in this movie have access to those beautiful islands in Italy and in Rome and all these different places. They have the money to go and see the ancient relics and all of that. And these are also a lot of people that end up getting 1998. Okay. 1998. Okay. These are also the people, a lot of them, that end up getting Peter Nygaard. Nygaard, thank you, Nygaard. I know it was a Vanguard Nygaard or something. Thank you, Peter Nygaard. Okay, so look, they get access to the rarest museums. They get access to all of these things, right? So think about this, right? A lot of them get in vitro fertilization too. A lot of those same people have to be in the ritualistic worship of the dude. You hear me? Right? No. They have to unalive people in order to bring their power on. Now, it's in my room. Give me a second. Let me go get it. I want to read something to y'all that we studied back in 2022. Okay. And I'm not going to put it up here because they keep playing with my stuff. But let's talk about it. I said, oh my goodness. Okay. Intimacy for others in the cult was free and easy and just about all the time. Also, intimacy with little people. A very high percentage of all children within the cult are regularly from a very young age. The cult members mostly pair off with others at the same power level. A-lister, elite, B-list, C-list, D-list, actor, singer, artist, writer, right? Is this not how it goes? A, B, C, D, they're a B-list actor, they're a C-list actor, D-list actor, right? Or you're only at a certain level. And so you have to pair off. Okay? Y'all remember when we studied this in 22? Y'all know the book. He came and set the captives free. So if you purchase this book and you go back and you read chapter 7, you will see what's going on. Right? When I saw the thing about the super soldiers or the super kids in reference to Bronny James or a certain basketball elitist, and I thought about the super soldier DNA. What is a super soldier? A super soldier is a descendant of the Anunnaki, the elites, the people that were the the all of them people over there, right? No, they have access to DNA that they can put into their children, right? No, you want them to be an artist. Like watching that movie, I was like, oh my god. They talk about the Disney kids that they manufacture. Crazy, I was thinking about rereading this book. You very well should. Listen, okay, so this movie, now hold on. Because just like we dedicate our children to God and we pray that the Spirit of God comes into our children, right? They pray that entities inhabit their children. Will they worship Lucifer or the fallen, all of them, the whatever? Y'all, what if they know where these people's like the actual beings, because the tombs, they raiding the tombs and they taking the bones and they carbon date them, but they take the marrow out. Where's it going? If you have the money, you can engineer a kid. So in this movie, y'all, they are raiding the tombs of people like Michelangelo and all of this, and they are taking the DNA. They are putting it into donated eggs, right? And then um, marketing these children to people that can pay $10 million to adopt a kid, $15 million to adopt a kid. Yeah, you said like old girl in the first Dan Brown movie, Sophia. She had the DNA of Christ. She was of the lineage of Christ. Now, if they, now get this, the scientists told us that they tested the DNA and it was only, what, 33 chromosomes? And the other chromosomes, there's no way to gauge them or whatever. Right? They told us they tested the shroud. Like, this is not a secret. They told us. If they found the shroud in 1358 or 13, whatever y'all said, right? And we've seen movie after movie after movie about Satanists trying to bring Lucifer to the world, right? There have been many antichrists. The Bible says that. No? Right. Right? The Bible even says there's been many antichrists. Like, they've been trying this, right? But in this movie, and we talked about this from Supernatural, there had to be a woman's body, right, that could hold the DNA of an angel without it destroying her. But Lucifer is not just a regular angel. So if they have the DNA of Christ, and we know that the people that act like they are servants of the Almighty God, but we know that they are not the servants of the Almighty God, and they have access. Little children, it is the last hour, as you heard. The Antichrist is coming, and even now Antichrists have come, by which we know it's the last hour. Okay, so listen. This, not that it hasn't happened before, but the study of genetics and the study of fertilization and, in vitro and all of that is huge. It's multi-trillion-dollar, gazillion-dollar businesses right now, right? Right. So if they had the DNA of Christ a long time ago and they wanted to engineer it, right, to birth a little girl, this is why the movie in with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, I'm just thinking about different movies that we have watched and different things that have come out, and it's like, oh my God. The scientists had the DNA. They could have sold the DNA to said organization and engineered daughters. Now, where does that come in at? Allie Carter. Allie Carter and other people. Mind you, can I ask you a question? Don't all the stars, once they get past a certain point, right? Once they get past a certain point, they say, I'm an alien. I'm not even from here. I'm a whole alien. Like I'm an interdimensional being. I said, ooh, what they been doing in our face? Y'all was watching it. I had to keep going back because I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Can you go on Google real quick? Give me a minute because we going somewhere. Give me a minute. Can y'all go to Google or Siri or wherever and just look up super human strength or supernatural strength where people have done feats of supernatural strength? Can you please? And just tell me. It don't gotta be all the same. Just look up supernatural feats in your state, your country, whatever, and then just tell me what happened. Like, did a mama lift a car off her baby? Like, what? Yeah. And that's interesting. The orange one said that he was the father of IVF. Interesting. Interesting. It's okay. Listen, there's people that are going to say a whole bunch of things. You just got to know the truth for yourself. Oh, in 2013 in Oregon, teenage sisters Hannah and age 16 and Haley lifted a tractor to save their father pinned underneath. Interesting. Okay. What else we got? That's wow. They lifted a tractor? 14 and 16. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, right. But we're not talking about that. We're talking, come on now. We looking for supernatural feats that happen. In 2013 in Salvage, Newfoundland and Labrador, Cecil Stuckless, a 72-year-old man, lifted a Jeep to save his son-in-law pinned underneath. Interesting. Okay. We got anything else? They're called supernatural feats. Superhuman strength. There's real things that happen. That's why I said look in your city, look in your state, and look on the news and see what they say. Because it's something, I guarantee you. In 2017, Franklin lifted an SUV from a state trooper in Temple Terrace, Florida, after an accident. Interesting. Interesting. There's other stuff besides cars and stuff too, y'all. It is. It is. So when you think about um the movie, right? It just and they be like, this person got, and they say, oh, it's adrenaline. The hair on my body is thinning up. They say it's adrenaline, is this, is that. Mm-mm. Because it's nothing for an unseen force while you lifting to be lifting with you. Do we not know this to be true? Isn't that what divine intervention is? But what if they've been playing with people, kids, y'all, and some of the engineered children that we see are from the DNA of the graves that they hid, like when National Geographic had that thing about the big bones. And that was when I was young. I remember it came out young. I was younger. You hear me? I love National Geographic. That's how I know this stuff used to be in them, and then they slowly moved that stuff out of circulation. But they were, they was out. Remember I said they obsessed with the bones? Because what's on the inside of the bones, the DNA, this is why they want the teeth and the skulls and all these different things, because the DNA to build the people that they want to build, like a Caesar or a Constantine, they know where their graves are. Almost all of the people that are widely known in history, their graves have been robbed. Parts of the skeletons are no longer, so they make up a bone and they cast the bone. They make casts of the bones, so we don't. They're not the real ones, but they have them. It's more saint bones under the Vatican than anywhere. Who control all the hospitals? A certain place. Who controls all of the blood donation centers? A certain place. Who controls all of the shelters? A certain place. People say people come up missing in shelters all the time. There are women that people said was crazy because they was out on the streets when they was telling the stories about how they was in a shelter. They took them to a facility and they were impregnated and put back out, or couldn't leave until they had the baby, and then they put them back out on the street. And because they were on some type of substance, or they were dealing with addiction, then nobody believed them. But in this book, he came to set the captives free. And then we have a young lady that is running for her life right now. Okay. The FBI said no one is ever really missing because they know exactly where they are. They know exactly where they are. How many people have said that they've been in some type of testing facility and they wouldn't let them out, and everybody's like, right, sure, hey, baby, hey. No, I understand. So I'm just thinking about all of the stories we've heard about, like, even with X-Men, people think, oh, it's a movie. Okay. No. Firestarter, same thing. Yep. Because think about it. If they got the DNA, plenty of women donate their eggs, and we know that they don't be right with the egg. You know, they say, I'm donating my eggs to science. Okay. Well, if we found the DNA of a Nephilim, and we out in the middle of wherever, okay, you hear me? Yeah, the milk carton was a deterrent to make us believe they were looking for kids. Right. But think about it. Especially if you are a part of the plan with helping bring the Antichrist to earth. Because he can't stay in certain bodies long. So if he gonna be in it for a minute, it had to be engineered. If I read that in a book, a guy talks about locked up that have special powers. Yeah. So that whole devil conspiracy, like, if you haven't watched it, watch it and pay attention. I'm trying to tell you. Please do, because it's a lot of information in there. And a lot of the stuff that's in there is on our news right now. A lot of it. Yeah. NASA looks for negative blood folks to hire. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It makes you think about the spiritual side of it. Back when my mom got her kids taken away, she was saying the doctors got her pregnant. Oh. Yeah, it's called the devil conspiracy, y'all. The devil, no S, conspiracy. Yeah, it's a very interesting movie. Very, very interesting. It's, I believe it. Who remembers when they was well, if we have any people, every day is a new beginning. I want people to go looking. I didn't tell them where it was at for a reason. No, I'm not gonna tell you. I gave you the name of the movie, and that's not being rude. I didn't say the name of the movie. All you gotta do is ask Siri. She'll tell you. We're not just handing out information. You might not have got that memo, but when I don't say it's because I want them to go looking. I got it at T Studio. Okay? And that's not being me, y'all. We in a time when you gonna have to be willing to go searching for information. Oh, it's okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. And people don't like that, but it's a reality, family. It is. It's a reality. Like it's time out for people wanting people to spoon feed you information. Because if you only going on the information everybody else telling you, that a person can give you the wrong information and you're gonna be messed up. Interesting. Pray over her. Put some oil on that girl feet. Thank you. I watched after your live last night, and all I can say is, "Oh my God, you watched it, Auntie? Auntie, tell me that's not everything that's in our news right now." Auntie, it make you think about all of the clinics. It make you think, don't it? All the young girls that they keep around, the elite, who be saying all this crazy stuff that they was pregnant, they gave birth to these babies, and they went away, and we know they was pregnant because we seen them pregnant, and all of this old crazy stuff. Then all of a sudden it just went away that they wasn't pregnant. Like, it be making me think, because it's a real famous man, and he went from black to white, and he chemically engineered. I mean, he genetically engineered his kids. Did he or did he not? Wasn't he like with some people over in Switzerland picking the best DNA of this and that? I mean, he had access. They go missing all the time. Mm-hmm. So I just, my mind, when I was watching that movie, I was like, wait a minute. Thinking about news, thinking about just different things. Like, wow, this is nuts. Like they've been playing in our face the whole time. You hear me? Like real life. The notes, all the disappearances from the entertainment. Come on. You're not talking about the one who carried the shiny. Did. Did. Everything is in the news. I'm trying to tell you. Did. And all the celebs with the IVF kit. Y'all feeling me now? Is y'all feeling me now? And get this, I'm not knocking nobody. This is for just observation. Do y'all notice how none of them, they said they never feel like they supposed to be in the body they in? The kids of the elite always be like, I'm in the wrong body, or I don't feel like I belong on this earth. I don't like this skin I'm in. I don't like this body. I don't like. Because a spiritual being trapped inside, because we know that Solomon can summon spirits because they feel the flesh and riding around them. They're eternal beings. They don't be wanting to be in this. Sometimes they have to. But if you do an incantation into a new grave robbers, Auntie, we talked about grave robbers. We did. Listen, trying to tell you. Like, when I tell y'all after watching that, my mind was like, it just made me think about all the stuff we studied. Yes. All the stuff we studied, that's what it made me think about. Auntie, just watching that didn't make you think about all the stuff we studied? If Jasher didn't come to your mind when you watch it, like in The Mummy when he tried to bring his old girlfriend into Evie's body. Yep. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. Listen, the series V has a lot of the true too. I watched a few shows of that. Yep. The canopic jars. Uh-huh. Where they kept their DNA and stuff in there. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't had a chance to go watch it, you might want to, because it's very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Very. Came out in 22. It's very interesting. Now, on to our second um area of business. With a show of hands, and I want y'all to be completely honest. Who feel like I be talking crazy when I be saying, watch what you post, watch what you type, and watch what you say on this here Beyonce's internet? Was I not just talking about this last night? I talk about it all the time, right? This is something I say probably every day. Folks probably was thinking CERCA doing too much or whatever just last night. Right? No? I say it all the time. Well, there is a person, I don't know if they still a part of our community, but they used to be a part. I think we still friends. And I've shared a lot of his stuff throughout this last 2 years or whatever. But can I play something for y'all, please? Can I play something for y'all? And if I'm not mistaken, he and I are still friends on this here Beyonce's internet. We might not be, I don't know for sure, but we about to find out. Yep, we are. Are you ready? Y'all got y'all listening ears on? Please tell me you do. This was posted 5 hours ago. Who was here for class last night or got a chance to watch the rewatch when I was kind of going off about having to play with people, and I don't mind backing up? If you was here last night, just raise your hand. Or if you got to watch the rewatch of last night, so you know what I was talking about, and I was kind of going off. He and I are still friends on here. Okay, good. So when people be talking crazy, this was posted 5 hours ago. Here we go. I need you to listen.
Investigators showed up on my doorstep last night. Federal investigators showed up on my doorstep last night. Apparently, I'm under investigation right now, and I'm being threatened by the Ukrainian government. I and a group that I associate myself just so happen to uncover a lot of information about Ukraine. And I guess in their eyes, I'm being labeled as a Russian propagandist, which is pretty fucking funny. Anyways, I and a group that I've associated myself with probably over a year and a half now, right? I've been doing deep dives into what's really going on over in Ukraine and why Russia is doing what it's doing. And we found a lot of shit. And we probably shouldn't have spoken about it out in the open on Telegram because now obviously we're being targeted. But let's just say that we've been...
When I told y'all they've been over here too, I'm not joking. Because anybody that this man is you listening to me when I be trying to tell y'all stuff? He and I been friends since I went viral. And a lot of stuff, we done shared each other's stuff. He didn't like our stuff. He's still a part of this community. So Y'all keep acting like he said it wasn't even the U.S. It was the Ukrainian folks that's over here. Y'all better quit playing. Beauty Mark, go look it up. He posted 5. Listen, I'm not gonna play with no adults. And for how long have I been saying this? Since we started WOIU, I said just because you know it, you don't have to say it. And if I'm saying something and you understand, just leave it at that. You don't have to type it. You don't have to try to ain't no. Especially after that sound went off when you went live. So let me tell you what happened in my car. Y'all want to know what happened in my car? And my cousin is busy, but I'm going to call her later so she can tell y'all. I got in my car. And my visor looked weird. It was black. Not my visor, my rear view mirror. I'm like, why I can't see myself in the mirror? Right? Like, it's like this. Whole mirror. Black. I'm like, what the heck? So I pushed a little button. This ain't never happened. It wouldn't come, like, clear. Then as soon as I get out into the, it's like that right now. Listen to me. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm on Google Meet with my cousin. I'm like, cousin, look at this. Nigga, I can't. She said, maybe it's a wire. Is it smoking? I said, cousin, nothing. Why as soon as I said that, it cleared up? So then I get to driving and I'm talking to her and it goes back black. I'm talking about like a nigga watch, like, it's a two-way mirror. It ain't never, not ever did that. I had the car and drove cross country, everything else. I show him, I'm like, cousin, look at this. Baby, because the first thing I do when I get in the car is make sure my lip gloss popping. Baby, I couldn't even see myself. You hear me? My cousin was like, what the hell? I said, cousin. Baby, I done had a lot of cars. I have not ever had a rear view that's light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. It 1 minute you can't see nothing, and then the next minute it's completely clear, and then it's a freaking mirror. Do you hear me? If you get in your car, you can see like this. Baby, it was dark, and I'm like, what? I said, what is going on? So I called my cousin. I'm like, cousin, do you see this? You see, it's black. And then it cleared up. And she was like, well, maybe it's a short in it. I'm like, cousin, it's a freaking rear view. Baby, I ain't not ever had no mess like that in my life. I said, see, they might not know. I'm going to look at myself in this mirror in this car. You hear me? Listen. Ooh, wait. I said, interesting. Mm-hmm. And it's weird. I already am. Dude. But baby, when I tell you I didn't been driving since I was 11 or 12, and ain't never, not ever, I didn't rent cars, been in brand new cars, buckets. I have not ever looked into a rear view mirror and it is black. Like I can't even see myself. I'm gonna tell y'all what it looked like. Y'all know exactly what it looked like. It looked like when you walking by in downtown and they have that reflective film on it. That's what it looked like. You know how you can see yourself, but it's like a gray blue tint. You know what I'm talking about? That's exactly what I was looking like. And then it would go clear like this, and then it would spaz out and go back just like that. That's exactly what it looked like when you walking downtown and you can see yourself, but it's like dark. That's exactly what it looks like. I kid you not, right now. And my cousin was like, "What the hell?" I said, "Yeah, something's going on with this." And I ain't got no new one on there. It's the same one I had since I bought the car. I've been having this car almost 2 years. What, over a year? Almost 2 years. No, it's not ever done that. I didn't got into it. Stone cold, freezing, boom, I can see. It is not ever done that. Ever. It wasn't super cold. It's been cold. It's been snow. It's been all of that. It has not ever done that. Not ever. Not ever. Mm-mm. Listen, y'all. I know about shorts. I know about fuses. I know about all of that. I am not a ditzy woman that don't know nothing about no cars. I'm telling you what I know. Just like I told y'all before Christmas that I kept looking outside because I felt like somebody was messing with the bottom of my car. And I kept looking out every night before I would go to bed, like looking out my window. Well, what ended up happening? About 5 days later, 7 days later, I'm driving on the highway going to see my grandson December 30th. And what happened? A hose or something blew underneath my car. And I was stranded. Y'all was on y'all was on live with me. I'm telling you. I ain't not ever got in my car and looked in the rear view. I was like, what the heck? Because I don't go a lot of places. I don't really leave. I'll be at the crib. You hear me? Okay. You tag if you tag me in your videos, they're gonna shadow ban them. I don't think you should do that. You ain't gonna. They're not gonna move them. So if you want people to see them, I probably wouldn't tag me in it because they're shadow banning. Like they're removing people that are even saying my name in their videos. So I don't know if I would do that if I were you. Yes, yes, I can, Mari. And it's been a couple times I done went out there like, what the heck? Like my blessed oil was tipped over. It. I don't know. Mm, yeah. So just listening to him say that, I was like, well, no, it's not poltergeist. Listen, just because you can type don't mean you should. I know everybody keyboards work, but if you're not going to, this is a serious issue. So, I mean, if you just want to type whatever you want to type, you probably shouldn't use it here. whole content creators are coming up missing and nobody know where they at for 5 or 6 months. I don't know what part of that is a joke to you. Especially when you talk about the kind of stuff I do. Like, I don't know, just because you have a keyboard don't mean you should use it. I probably could, but they control. It ain't nothing for them to turn out a camera. They do it every time I leave my house. You remember? Every time I leave, and I had my lights on the system. But every time I go out of town, my camera on my door goes offline. My lights went offline, and then when I went to Georgia with Auntie P, remember it was somebody. I had been here. Y'all know if maintenance knock on the door, I'm going to the door. Every time I leave and go out of town, this is why I'll be telling people when I'm leaving, because the people be in my house. You can go back 2 years and see that they was not, you know what I'm saying. But every time I leave, all of a sudden it's a maintenance some emergency, or y'all need to come in and spray and all of this kind of stuff. But I could be home for 4 months, no spraying, no nothing, nobody knocking on the door. But as soon as I go out of town and y'all know I didn't touch down, then all of a sudden it's all this work that need to be done in my crib. And it don't be our regular maintenance man, it be like another person. Yes. But would you get notifications when things change or go off? It depends. They know how to turn your camera off because all of these cameras are funded by the government. If you, in order for them to sell them over here, they gotta be federally mandated to be okay and not be connected to certain things. So it wouldn't matter. They got things that turn that off, and it could still show that my camera is on. We didn't see it at all the espionage movies. But there are certain things that I do in my house. Remember I told y'all? So if a person ain't been in my house, like prime example, I close all my doors. I keep my doors closed. Every single door, closet door, bathroom door, every door in my house is closed. I've come in my house and the doors have been open. I'm like, I didn't leave that door open. I don't leave my doors open. But if you come in my house, you probably just think that they all closed because you're here and you're new, and people don't know I keep all my doors closed for that reason. Because most people don't think to close the door when they go out the room. They just go out. You see what I'm saying? So, boom, you didn't been in here because even after you come out of the bathroom, you have to close the door. That's a rule in my house. And I do that because that's an easy way to know when people have been in the room, because most people are not going to close the door when they go out. I keep all the lights out in certain areas. So if a light is on, I know most times you didn't been in that room because most people don't think about turning the light out. I leave my fan on in my bathroom so that way I'll know if somebody goes in the bathroom, because most people turn the fan off when they leave out. I leave my fan on 24 hours a day. So I'll know if you've been in the bathroom because you didn't turn all the lights off, which I don't do. I keep my what's the name light on, and you didn't turn the fan off. I leave that fan on in this bathroom, and I don't even really use this bathroom, but it's on. So that way I'll know if I come in and this fan is off, somebody been in here. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I don't like, and that's not just since now. That's been always. I had kids. Oh, I don't know if you've been in my room. I don't know if somebody been in my house. Mm-mm. You do that too? Yeah. Yes. Uh-uh. Because that's why I got the other cameras that I got. I got like the light bulb cameras. I got the door cameras. I got a couple different things, and whenever I leave, they just go offline. When I was gone for them 2 weeks, my camera was offline the whole time I was gone, and then it's not been offline no time since then. When my grandson was little, and I stayed up there that 2 weeks, my camera was offline the whole time I was gone. But I done went other places, it stay online the whole time. Even if it's barely charging, it'll stay online. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, just be mindful of the things that you are saying and the things that you are typing and all of that, because it means something. And then I'm gonna run to the restroom, and I got something I want us to read, even though we've read this story before, but I think it's very important, and I think it has everything to do with what's going on right now. Okay? So you're gonna need your regular Bible, and we're gonna be in the ESV, the English Standard Version, on Bible Gateway. Okay? I ain't telling y'all where yet, because I gotta make me some coffee and run to the restroom. So y'all got a few minutes. Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Ooh. Okay. So hopefully those two topics put something on your man. Yeah, we did. We talked about it yesterday. All right, so you're gonna need your ESV now. Yep, whatever you want to use is fine. Okay. Yep, use whatever you want. It's fine. We're gonna be reading in the ESV, so it's probably gonna read wrong. Y'all ready? Not wrong, but different. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say wrong. Different. It's gonna read differently. I'm about to tell y'all where we're going. Is y'all ready? Okay. Y'all ready over here? Okay. My YouTubers, y'all ready? Okay. I need y'all to go to 1 Samuel 18. And we just read this recently, but we're going to go back over it again because it applies to what's happening now. Oh, excuse me. Y'all ready? 1 Samuel 18, verse 1. Y'all ready? Okay. As soon as David had finished speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day and would not let him return to his father's house. Then Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him and gave it to David, and his armor, and even his sword, and his bow, and his belt. And David went out and was successful wherever Saul sent him, so that Saul sent him over the men of war. And this was good in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. Okay? Your real friends are going to equip you with what you need to go forward. Did you hear what it said? Did you hear me? A person that truly care about you, they not going to care because you scared. They not going to care because you don't want to hear it. Because they know us indeed lift you up rather than tear you down. Right. But what I mean by that is, hold on now. Because you could view me saying, buck up, get ready, as I'm trying to say you're not strong. No, I'm telling you that what is coming your way, if you don't change your mind, if you don't guard yourself and guard your thoughts and pay attention to strategy, you're going to be out here bad. He gave him the things that he needed because from that point when he was chosen, he already knew the enemies was coming for him. I can't pick you and then send you out without protection. Do you understand? Because once everybody knew who David was and he was about, Saul's enemies became his enemies immediately. Even if they wasn't his enemies before, because he was chosen and he was the right-hand man or the hand to Saul. Anybody that didn't like Saul didn't like David. They was instantly, he got enemies that he ain't did nothing to. He was just guarding over the sheep. But even if David who had been a sheep herder, and he had to protect these sheep or lambs or whatever against wild animals. That's different from fighting a giant. That's different from fighting 20,000 soldiers and they running at you with swords and shields and fire and whatever else. That's a different state. Now, had he been getting trained for that? Yes. Yes. He was getting trained. But a person that really care about you, when they understand the danger or the peril that you could possibly be in, they're not just going to send you out unprepared. Do you hear me? They're not just gonna tell you what you want to hear, because the enemy don't care that you ain't ready. If you on their team, you on their team. We about to obliterate you. Period. What is Satan's goal here in a minute? I'ma just say it. To obliterate anybody that don't serve him. To tear up the earth that he's wanted to be Lord, or he's Prince of the air, right? But he wants to be Prince of heaven, and he wants to be God of heaven and earth, and he can't. So then I'll get rid of anybody that don't want to worship me. Hey, they my ops. So not preparing people for somebody that plans on tearing up everything that God built is nuts to me. You hear me? Y'all don't think so? Was Saul's enemies playing with David because they didn't have no beef with him and they had never ran up on him? Or was they like, oh, you run with Saul, so you an enemy? Just like you prepare your children for what if situations. Exactly. But this wasn't a what if. The moment he became the hand of the king, anybody that had a problem, this is a real deal. You don't know who is even in our kingdom that is a spy for one of his enemy nations. So even as you are walking to your room, as you are sitting in your bed, as you are riding your horse or walking down the causeway to the market down there, you don't know who around there might try to attack you. So these are some things that I need for you to have just in case. How many times in the old movies with the kingdoms did we see it was a soldier walking down the hallway and somebody jump out from one of the corridors and snatch them in, knock them out, take their armor and be pretending to be in the army when really they are not? Have we not seen this 1,000 times? Just because you wear the armor don't mean you're a part of that army. That's what a spy is, right? You have to pretend. So you got to eat with the real soldiers. You got to sleep with the real soldiers. You got to salute with even though your allegiance is somewhere else, you just wearing a costume. On both good and bad sides. Exactly. You get it? So just because you're wearing a costume don't mean that your allegiance ain't to the people. But the enemy has to come in and sleep by you. He got to come in and eat with you. He got to come in and shower by you. He got to come in and be around your kids and all these other things so that you don't think nothing. Jonathan understood that, even if David didn't quite at that moment. So he prepared him for the what ifs, like Sarah said. You might be walking down the hallway and somehow or another this person is snuck in our kingdom. You got to be prepared. That part. You hear me? Do you understand? So a real friend is going to prepare you for the ugly. A real friend is going to give you information that's going to get you to where you're trying to go. You hear me? Hold on 1 second. All right. Now we skipping that middle part. We going to 119. Just move on over to the next chapter. And my question is when to or when, or statement should I say, when or when not to. Okay? When or when not to. Y'all got me? Y'all ready? We have 1 Samuel 19. Yes? Yes? All right. And Saul spoke to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should unalive David. Here we go. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David, and Jonathan told David, Saul, my father, seeks to unalive you. This is for educational purposes only, TikTok. Hey, bro. I know we've been cool for a long time. Right? No. I need to get my belt out. It's over there somewhere, but we gonna have to pretend today. I think it's in the closet. He like, hey, bro, I just came from a meeting. My dad, he want to unalive you. Okay? So what I'm going to need for you to do is get on up out of Dodge. I'm going to need you to leave. You said you needed Mighty Mountain. Y'all gonna quit coming for me. Leave me alone. Somebody else said Super Mickey. Moving on. Listen. Pay attention. There we go. Is that better? Is this better? Is it? Okay? He like, hey, bro, my dad ain't about the right, even though you done fought off all his enemies and stuff. He want to unalive you. Okay? Now let me ask you a question. Did David say, oh, he want to unalive me? Oh, he want to unalive me? Bet. I'm about to tell him that I know. I'm about to tell him that I know. I'm about to run through here and tell everybody that the king wants to unalive me. Is that what he did? Did he? Huh? When to or when not to is a thing. There was information that was given that if repeated, it could have been detrimental for a few people. Because I'm sure there were some people that was riding with David. Okay? But this information was very sensitive. Because in the wrong person's hands, They could have said, well, why the king want to unalive you, bro? He got to have a reason. What you done did? You tried to rise up against the king? You trying to take his fame? Like, what's up? I mean, he ain't just want to unalive you for nothing. It could have been some people that's like, nah, Saul wrong, so bro, I'm riding with you. Whatever it is that you want to do. I mean, if we overthrowing the king, we overthrowing the king. Therefore, be on your guard in the morning. Stay in a secret place and hide yourself. Okay. So we're going to fast forward this to our time right now. There is information that is being given to you. Just because you know it, it don't mean you gotta say it. Just because you know it don't mean you gotta repeat it. Just because you know it, you don't gotta type it. You just gotta know it. You just gotta know it. Because it could be information that could be very detrimental to your life if you don't just hold it. Can God trust you with his secrets? Can he trust you with information that is going to save other people? Or are you a person that what's understood don't need to be explained? Ain't that an old saying the old folks used to say? And I'm going to add a little bit of that because you to that, you never know what ears is listening. What's understood don't need to be explained, especially out loud, because you never know who's listening. So whatever your plan is, it's already spoiled, whatever you want to call it, because guess what? The enemy didn't got a hold to the information. So what if it was somebody standing with Jonathan that he thought was his homeboy? He listening to him tell David, hey, bro, hide into the morning. Then I'm a pull a move on my dad and have him go with me. And then you did. So now this person heard what he said. And he could go and tell the king, your son is in on helping David leave. And then who's coming to where David is at is the soldiers and the king. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Thank you. Right or wrong? Everybody don't need to hear it. And just because they around you, Saul has sent David into harm's way more times than he can probably count. I done got these niggas up out for you, and now you want to take my life? I done went and got back your treasures. I done went and got back your slaves. I done did it. And now you've become my enemy. David could have did a lot with the information that he had, but you know what he did? He zipped it. He didn't say nothing. He moved in silence, and he listened to the direct instructions that were given. He could have said, I ain't doing that. I'm going to wait till Tuesday. He said, tonight in the morning, you're going to be in danger. You don't even know this. I need you to lay low. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. David didn't fought giants. David didn't slain whole armies. He could have said, I ain't scared of nobody. I got God on my side. What do I? He had to use strategy. He had to know when to move and when not to move, when to speak and when not to speak. Let's do it. He said, therefore, be on your guard in the morning. Okay. Do you think that in 18, when Jonathan was giving David his armor, that he thought that armor was going to be keeping him safe from his daddy? We just talked about David walking through the kingdom, but if the king want to slay you and you in his kingdom, you his king, he got the whole army. He can go get somebody from outside the king, the courtyard doors, a poor person. He can use somebody in there. He got pulled with all of the other kings, so he know who they men is. That if he wanted to bring somebody into his kingdom, sneak them in through the door and have them off David, he could have. This could have happened a lot of ways. So David had to use strategy. I don't know. I mean, David didn't have no armor. David wasn't a soldier. David was a sheep herder. But do you ever think that he thought that he was going to have to protect him from his daddy, the very person that gave him his armor? Probably not. Because you've been a great hero for my daddy. You've been a great soldier, and I'm honored to put this on you, not knowing that the same hands that put this on me is going to be the same hands that's trying to unalive you while you wearing the armor that they gave to me. You get what I'm saying? The very armor your friend gave you is protecting you from his daddy. The sword, the shield, the everything is protecting him from the very person that gave it to him. You don't think that his dad was honored to put that armor on his son? And then his son took it off and put it on David, not knowing that once that transition happened, that was going to be the same armor that was going to keep him alive when he was trying to unalive him. Do you hear what I'm saying? But David had to be smart. It didn't matter that he had slayed all those armies. It did not matter. It didn't matter what he had did before. Right now, your life is in danger. And if you don't listen to me, friend, somebody might catch you slipping, and I don't want nothing to happen to you. Don't talk to nobody. Just go, chill, and I got a plan. If this were in our day, and I said, y'all, I'm going to let y'all know where we going to be. And people say, oh, we need to get a place together. We need to go and be in one space. But if you can't even listen to an instruction like don't type it, just know, how many people are going to be in jeopardy because you don't listen to instructions? Will you be the person that leads the Antichrist people to a group of people because you don't listen? Because you think Asari is going to take it back when they dragging your family out, they dragging your kids out to take, excuse me, to take them to decide on whether they want to take the mark or not? Is it going to be worth you saying whatever you wanted to say then? Because Sari ain't going to take that back. And as you can see, they are showing up to people's houses. That's not a coincidence because the owls is over here now. They did a whole contract with these people as to why certain things keep getting banned because the owls is over here. Anything that is going to put their plan out to the people, the owls is blocking it. So when people kept saying, CERCA, where we're going to go and what channel, I won't be standing on here. If it was a place, this is the wrong place to say it. Seeing as how the very people that we will be trying to play hide and go seek with is on here every day, all day, monitoring. Locations, facial expressions, what you buying. Y'all getting me? Your enemy is right in your face. And they are collecting all the data they need. But if God has sent somebody to you to warn you, do you think David had 4 more times for Jonathan to come tell him what he told him? Or did he have to act in the moment? They might have only had 30 seconds to talk. My dad is coming to kill you. Okay, so listen, I need you to go to your room, lay down. If somebody come to your door, act like you're not there. I'm going to take him in the morning as soon as the sun starts this time. I need you to get out now. I got to go. All right, bro. I love you. They be like, wait, tell me again? What you mean he wanna? He was listening. Didn't nobody have time to repeat it? Jonathan didn't have to repeat himself 4 times? He might have only had, he's the prince. He might not have had that much time, and he can't afford to be seen with David after he just left the meeting with the officials where his daddy said, I'm going to unalive him. Which means they had to meet in secret somewhere. No? Did they? They couldn't tell if the prince was meeting somewhere and David was somewhere after the prince just left. The king, you think that he could just make an A-line to David with everybody seeing him after the information, knowing how close he was? No. He probably had to send word to whoever they little, or just know where their special meeting spot is. He know his best friend so much, he know where he gonna be at 3 o'clock. Because it ain't nowhere that the prince can go or David can go that don't nobody know who they is in the kingdom. Everybody should not know how you moving. Everything that comes to your mind, you don't have to say it. And if it is understood and we in class, you don't have to type it. One of the ways that I'm trying to get y'all to understand that is through the whole, once the information is given, you go looking for the rest of it. Because there are going to be split-second decisions, maybe only 4 words, and you're going to have to figure it out, family. There might not be time to explain the whole thing to you. I need y'all to get that. So when I say to you, they can show up at your door too for what you typing, and I just let y'all hear this man's video. It don't even have to be nobody from our country, because they have other people over here that are diplomats and whatever else. So it wasn't even our people that went and knocked on this man's door. It was a foreign country's government that knocked on his door. So again, because you have information, you need to decide how you are going to put that information out. You need to decide on if that information should be put out. Because everything that you know isn't meant to be repeated. Give him a kiss for me. Do you understand? And that's going to be a crucial thing now. And even if you are going to repeat it, thinking about how you will say it, just in case somebody is listening, it's going to be a huge thing. Y'all get tired of me having an attitude. I get tired of us talking about it, and then it be right around us on social media, on the news, on whatever else. It literally be happening. Yes, I go hard because I'm literally watching it happen, especially to people that's in the industry, so called. I guess the whole social media influencer thing. Well, hey, they coming up missing, and folks is knocking on their doors. What? They see the things y'all done bought. They know the books you've bought. They know. They know the messages that you've sent out to your other family members. They know. So just be mindful of the information, because what you do with sensitive information when you get it says a lot. You might have to tell somebody, but it might not be the time. And all y'all have to do is go back to all of the movies where certain people were being hunted, and it should help you understand. Do y'all get me? Huh? Y'all get me? Okay. It says, stay in a secret place and hide yourself, and I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where you are, and I will speak to my father about you. And if I learn anything, I will tell you. And Jonathan spoke well of David to Saul his father, and said to him, let not the king sin against his servant David, because he has not sinned against you, and because his deeds have brought good to you. For he took his life in his hands, and he struck down the Philistine, and the Lord worked a great salvation for all Israel. You saw it and rejoiced. Why then will you sin against innocent blood by killing David without cause? And Saul listened to the voice of Jonathan. Saul swore, as the Lord lives, he shall not be put to death. And Jonathan called David and reported to him all these things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as before. And there was and there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines and struck them with a blow, so that they fled before him. Then a harmful spirit from the Lord came upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his spear in his hand, and David was playing the lyre, and Saul sought to pin David to the wall with the spear, but he eluded Saul, so that he struck the spear into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul sent messengers to David's house to watch him, that he might unalive him in the morning. Did he break his promise? Was he keeping his word to his son? Sometimes the devil will say stuff to put you at ease. People I know in a place, a city, a fictitious place called the Hood, they wait until stuff cool down, don't they? Well, not these YNs. Back in the day, people waited till stuff cooled down. They made you think they wasn't tripping. They made you think everything was cool, because they know the police. We was just into it. So we gonna wait a little while. We gonna let you get comfortable, have a little truce, and then I'm gonna get you. Is that not what was going on back in the day in in the fairy tale place called the Hood. Fairy tale land. Right. No. Okay. Here we go. Mm-mm-mm. Ooh. But Michelle, or we will call her Michelle, uh, David's wife told him, if you don't escape with your life tonight, tomorrow you will be unalive. So Michelle let David down through the window and he fled away and escaped. But Michelle, we're going to say her name. We're going to call her Mimi. So Mimi is whose daughter? Whose daughter is Mimi? Saul's daughter. So Saul's son is giving David information, and Saul's daughter is giving information. And there's already soldiers sitting outside of his house, waiting for him to walk out the front door or walk out of wherever, and they gonna unalive him there. The drama, right? So she sends him out the back door, and they sitting there, probably didn't fell asleep, waiting on him to come on out. What if he would have told his wife, girl, I'm not listening to you? Or what if he would have started yelling in her ear? We don't know if she pulled him close, right in front of the mirror, so that they could see him, and did some kind of act and said they want to kill you tomorrow. They want to kill you. And so when I go in here, I'm gonna lead you to the room, and I'm gonna put you. I already put a rope together. I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna put you. I already let it out, and all you gotta do is I'm gonna lead you to the room, and we're gonna close the curtains. I'm gonna turn on the light, and I'm gonna have you go out the back door. Come on, baby. Do you hear me? You think David could be in there yelling and screaming and saying everything he knew? You think he could be telling her, don't tell me what to do? I'm a grown man. I'm going to fight this the way I know how. I'm a soldier. He had to listen to instruction and not wait until tomorrow. Not wait until he felt like it. Because God was giving him favor with his enemy's children. Do you understand that? There's a number of ways this man could have acted. He had to listen. And now, not tomorrow, not what you mean. And I'll know, bet, okay. Do you see that David replied when all of this was coming? Do it show that David said anything? Did it show that David said, I'm going to go? Did it show that David said anything to Jonathan? He just acted. It says, so Mimi let David down through the window, and he fled away and escaped. Do it say that David said anything to her? So he didn't say that, and not saying he didn't, but it don't say that he said nothing to the son, and he didn't get all crazy. He just listened. He just moved. This is a very powerful story, y'all. Because if you are a follower of Christ, you are a enemy of who? The evil one. And the Bible says that he's going to make war against God's people. Was not Saul making war, or excuse me, war against David? David lived in his house, or he was a man of his court. He saved his life, he saved his people, he saved his kingdom. This is also representative of, it's going to be some people that choose the mark. And just because they're your family and just because you've been friends with them forever, if they choose the mark, they have now become your enemy. And because the enemy always want to know where all the people is, you're going to have to decide on what information you give and don't give, depending on what side they take, right or wrong. You realize that Saul was trying to unalive the father of his grandchildren? He was trying to unalive his son-in-law and his greatest soldier. They ate together, drank together, fought together, whatever else it is. Do you understand? But that didn't mean that he didn't have it out for him. So this might be your cousin. This might be your mama. But it might come a time when if you say the wrong thing to them, you could be leading other people into a crazy situation. So when I be fussing and I be like, why would you even say that here? Why would you say that? Why? I mean, if you know, just know. Just know. You don't got to say just because you know. Especially when the enemy is already listening and letting his face be shown that he right here. We ain't all the way across in the Ukraine. We ain't all the way across in wherever. We right here at your door. We right here. And we heard what you were saying. And I talked about that. We talked about it. They didn't have to fly over from the UK or the Ukraine to go pop up and knock on that boy door. That man door. They was already here and they been watching. Oh, you didn't think we saw you? We saw you. Be careful. This is somebody that's been in our classes. He's been here. I don't know what else y'all need to see. Tell me. Still think I just be overreacting. Learning how to keep your mouth is about to be a vital tool. I promise you. Understanding and asking God to give you discernment on who to tell certain stuff to and who not to is going to be very vital. What y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Just because you have information don't mean you gotta tell nobody. What if what if Mimi told her friends that she was gonna sneak David out the back window? You see what I'm saying? She could have told the kids, "I'm gonna sneak your daddy out." I mean, it was a number of things. You see what I'm saying? But just because you have information don't mean you're supposed to share it. Certain stuff shouldn't be unless you in person and you know for a fact, you know, whatever. But it's gonna be some, okay, prime example, y'all. Like I said, God told us so many things that were coming up, that were gonna happen, and people were clueless to it, but you knew. You tried to share some of it, but some of it maybe you didn't. Some of the things you learned here, maybe you haven't shared them yet. It doesn't mean they weren't valuable to you for you to have them. You hear me? Sometimes it's safer to be silent. So when I'm begging y'all, hey, be careful. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do. I'm not trying to talk crazy to nobody or nothing. What I need you to know is the folks that's showing up. People are not being found, okay? Not available, and don't nobody know where they at. Everything just one day went away. Can't even find them if you look for them. They collected phones at parties for a reason, this part. But there are multiple stories in the Bible. You hear me? There are multiple stories in the Bible um, where there was information given, but if everybody knew you had it, it would have been devastation for everybody. You hear me? In real life. Don't be deceived with this whole freedom of speech crap. It's not real. And Lucifer is only going to use you to bait other people out, and then he'll get rid of everybody. He don't care. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And that's why this whole time I'm like, don't type that, don't say that, don't. But I do be reminded of the biblical stories where certain information you just shouldn't say. If you know, and the person is telling you without telling you, or trying to help you see, you just gotta ask God to quicken your thought process or pattern, because sometimes we might not have no time to be explaining it. You hear me? So it's a real thing of information. You have to understand the value of it, and you also understand, you have to understand who to share it with, when to share it, when not to share it, period. Yeah. So hopefully you take yourself through discernment. That's right. Hopefully you take yourself through this first, and I'm sorry, First Samuel chapter 18 and 19, and really look at the strategy points of what all happened. Like, look at all of the information that was given, and then you could even do what action was taken. Do like a pros and cons side. Like, this information was given, what did David do? This information was given to this person, what did they do? This information was given to this person, what did they do? Then once they got the information, and they did this certain thing, what was the outcome of that? Because how many times has information got a person hurt? What did they used to tell us they do to rats? What do they still do to rats now? What is a rat? Well, you can't type those words. We definitely say unaliving. I got it, Samantha. Um, First Samuel 18 and First Samuel 19, and then do the exercise of um the directions or the instructions that were given. You could put like three, and it's like a bullet thing. You ain't got to get all crazy, but do three different, sections on the page vertically, right? And then put directions that were given in those chapters, the action, right, that happened after the direction was given or the instruction was given, and then what was the outcome of them following that person, whether it be David or Jonathan or the sister or Saul or whoever. What were the directions that were given? What was the action? And then what was the outcome of the direction? Okay? Y'all open to that? No? It's an exercise. Okay. All right, Miss Green. I want y'all to see something. Because a lot of times we haven't listened to directions. That's why what we don't want happens. Right? But who else is affected by you not listening? We have some people in here that said that they had the people, some of our people that's down south where all of the destruction and stuff hit. There was people that was telling them whatever about getting in survival stuff and all of this. And instruction came, not just one time, not just one time, two times, three times, four times, several times. Instruction came. They didn't do nothing with it, and then they were angry at the people in our community. How are you angry with me when I gave you direct instructions on what you should do from what I believe God is telling, us to tell you, and then you're mad at me because you don't have what you need, but the information came? You got the information at the same time I did, or around the same time. So what you do with the information that you are given is huge. Do you hear what I'm saying? How you act on the information that you are given is huge. Some things are time sensitive, whether people believe it or not. One of the time sensitive issues, buy the food before it goes up. Buy the food before the economy crashes. Buy the survival stuff before the economy crashes. Please be very cautious in your spending. All of these things were instructions. They were requests, but in a lot of ways they were instructions. And some of y'all followed them. Not everybody, but a lot of people did. And exactly what God told us is all happening right now. With the grids, with the being displaced, with everything. Because can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all think that in a place like North Carolina, South Carolina, all those places, Tennessee and everything, where everybody lost their IDs, their phones, if they didn't have documentation that that's them, because all of those things were washed away, do you think this is a perfect place to then introduce a foolproof way to identify people? You don't have to worry about losing your documents. You don't have to worry about your car registration. You don't have to worry about blah, 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 blah. Or how do we know that this is you? You don't have an ID anymore. You don't have a birth certificate to prove that you have an ID. That you don't have a car registration. You don't have an insurance card. I mean, unless that stuff you didn't email this somewhere. How you prove who you are? If your house is gone, your cars is gone, everything is gone, how do you prove you're who you are? Y'all still here? You said now in Florida you have to get ID me for FEMA any money. Interesting. So they have to scan your face or something. I'm saying, how do you prove who you are? Right now, if you're in that situation and like everything you had burned up or was slid down the mountain, how do you prove who you are? If you lost your cars, you lost all of these things, how do you even get to a social security office to try to get and you gotta have some kind of ID. Most times when you go in there, you gotta have a proof of who you is in order to get a social security card, don't you? You said fingerprint and dental records. So where's you getting the fingerprint thing from? Who's doing that to give you the document? You have to have proof of ID to get a birth certificate. lost 3 weeks of work because I didn't have I-9 docs. Had to order. Okay, that part. I'm just saying. If you were down there in Florida or whatever, and every single thing you got washed away, your cars is gone, everything is gone. There's no, y'all didn't have time to grab your social security cards and all of that stuff. Phones is gone. What hell? I was born at a time where my birth certificate is the same size as a driver's license. I get it, but I'm saying for the people that don't have that, if you have lost every single document, you've lost your car, you've lost your house, how do you go get a new ID? You have copies on your phone, but what if you lost your phone? Some people didn't have time to hold on to their phone because they was holding on to the roof of their house flying down a river. Because their house is being pushed down a river, and it's mud and sediment being pushing everything out. As it's going this way, it's stuff flowing this way, pushing everything out. So if ever your cars is gone, everything, your property ain't even there no more because it crumbled and broke into the thing. How do you go get your information? I know you said through ID me, but I'm saying other than ID me, which is them scanning your face, how do you get it? Because, baby, I've been. Okay. Back it up online to access it in a later time. I get it. But if you don't have are they giving out phones? Are they giving out tablets? Because how are you accessing? Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think there's no internet in some of these. You hear me? Yeah. When you displace, how do you prove who you are? You know what I'm saying? And if your mama house and your house, everybody's house thing got washed out, your mama normally got your social security card. Well, what if mama living there with you? What if mama lived right up the hill and they stuff is gone too? Like, I don't know if people be thinking about that. You said muster up a starting for people who still had things. We're not talking about people that still had things, though. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. If every single thing in your possession was completely destroyed and washed downhill, and you and your mama and whoever else, how do you prove who you are? It was people that was holding on to roofs and whatever they can, pieces of fence, to slide down a river. You think they was worried about trying to hold on to their phone? Until you can get to the police station or whatever and get fingerprinted or whatever else it is, you hit. It is what it is. So that's an easy way for a foolproof ID system to be put in play. Is all I'm saying. ID me is the real ID Act, isn't it? Is it? Y'all should go look it up real quick and see where all that comes from and who's running the website and all of that. Your passport got a chip in it, so they'll know who you is. It's an RFID chip in there too. I'll be right back. But y'all should look into who runs ID. Sorry, y'all. Oh, that's how they used to look in the 90s, 80s. Excuse me. Ooh. Right. You're a Jane Doe or John Doe until proven otherwise. That part, Miss Moore. If it's not laminated, it can still get lost. Yeah. There is no way Asheville is completely cut off. Interesting. Thank you. So now y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all hear me? And think about this. We talked about this, right? Thank you. We talked about this. If they can put an RFID chip in here, right? Then there's one in your passport, there's one in your ID, there's one in your phone. So the people that live off grid but they purchase things at the store and leave them in their original wrapping or whatever it is, whether they have their phone or not, they're still able to track them too because of what they purchased. Isn't that genius? We don't gotta use your phone. We can use the stuff that you stopped at the store and bought on your way to your off-grid experience. We can track you through that. If you throw your phone out, long as you purchase something that got an RFID chip in it, we know where you are. Because they know the first thing people do is chuck their phone. Okay, so it's an RFID chip in your plate. It's an RFID chip in your car, in the engine of your car. It's RFID chips in the weaving of your clothing. Hold on, y'all. Hi, Mama. Hold on 1 second. Ooh, y'all. Sorry. It's a very important call. Ooh. Sorry, y'all. That was my my godmother. Y'all know I don't never leave y'all on that call that long. Yeah, kinda, sorta. Oh man, sorry about that. So yeah, um, yeah. Can I tell you? We use our manners around here. I will definitely tell you, but you guys gotta start using your manners. Excuse me, can you tell me, or can you please tell me? Like, I be feeling like y'all trying to make me do something when folks don't use their manners. His name is Beauty Mark. You're welcome. But yeah, so Auntie Lisa, I got my stuff. Thank you. I got my beverages. I might have one this evening. I ain't had none, but thank you. I got my honey too. I appreciate you so much. I went and picked it up the other day. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't even remember. In the last 2 days, Joe and I are getting ready to watch Snowpiercer for the first time and eat. I've never even seen it. Yep, I've never even seen that. You're welcome. So did y'all go look up the ID stuff? Thank you. Did y'all go look up the ID stuff? Did y'all look it up for the real ID and the ID me and all of that and who runs it? Right. And you have to scan your face in order to ID yourself. Yes or no? When they take that picture, they're going to scan the picture and make sure that all your points match from like your license or whatever other pictures they've captured of you in stores. So, yeah. Um, is it? That's where they get that information from? Thank you. Huh? Hey, is that where they get it from? I do know that they've been doing it in a lot of places for a very long time. I'm just saying, is that where they get it from? Is that where they're using it? Thank you, thank you to you, yeah. Hey, so understand, y'all. Understand that information is not going to be able to just be put out there. You're going to have to be very. They are going to be very tricky. Yes, Tammy, and that's what I need people to understand. Okay, because with the way that things are escalating, Have y'all noticed that wherever they fire fireworks to, those people have to be then herded into a certain space? Y'all seen that? Okay. If you go look over in Israel or any of those places, after certain things, everything. After if you go look, it doesn't matter if it's in Sudan, wherever they're at. After certain things happen in that space, the people are herded to a certain area and they're all living there. We can go online and see, tents and homemade this and that and what's going on there. You're able to see that this is happening all over the country. I mean, excuse me, all over the world, not just here in the United States or in certain places. It's happening everywhere because what's going to happen to all the people that got displaced in France or their houses are flooded? The same thing is going to happen over there. Everything you have was washed away. How do you ID yourself? That if the same things happened in Mexico, where everything that people had was completely washed away, these are several sectors or sections of people or groups of people that are now going to have their face scanned in order to get documents, in order to get help. You hear me? Hey, y'all get what I'm saying? Yeah, right. So I just need people to be aware and be mindful of so many different things right now. You cannot have a one track mind. You need to be checking and looking into everything that's going on around you. And don't be like, oh, that ain't happened to me. Okay, but it could if you don't pay attention to what you're saying and what you're doing and different things like that. It could be bad for you. And that's not putting out bad information. That's saying you need to you just gotta be more aware. The devil wants you to be unaware. God wants you to be prepared. And that's basically all that this conversation is about. Is if God gives you information, what are you gonna do with it? How do you process it? How do you get it out without getting it out, or don't get it out at all? Like, what is that information coming to you for? I don't think it's a coincidence that God told us all the things that He did. And then every time we open TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, the news, come on, that part. Who remembers back in December, January? Wasn't it December or January when they no, you're right. Who who remembers in December or January when they was or no, excuse me. It wasn't January. Was it 2020 or was it last year when they was talking about natural disaster pandemic? Was that this year or last year? Or was that from 2020? Y'all remember when they was talking about being able to do certain things if there was natural disasters and all of this? It was the end of last year. What have we been having since then? All over everywhere. They let us know about it, And then natural disasters are everywhere. Stuff they talking about they ain't never seen in our century. They don't even know if it's ever happened. Blase skip. All those natural disasters are happening now. And who shows up right after the natural disaster? The peoples. You said in biblical proportions all over. Interesting. The drill was in 2023 and then they start happening in 2024? No. What you just said, T? Did we do a class about that? Did we? Did we did a couple classes about that? We did. And then this year we're living through them, are we or are we not? And not just in one place, all around the world. Apocalyptic weather. Interesting. There are things that are going to be put in place and then they're going to happen. And that's in the last 10 months, 11 months, that's just one example of paying attention to something that really probably don't mean nothing to you right now because they're just saying hypothetically, and then the hypothetical thing starts to happen. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it, Miss Ida. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You. So, so God had us paying attention to certain things. We was looking into certain things. He had us studying about certain things, and all of those certain things, no matter what they are, they have been relevant to our news in the last so often. And so this is why we read about David and Jonathan and Saul, because it's going to be an important thing. Because as we can see from old boy's post, the enemy could be at your door at any moment. But you have got to be aware before it is happening. And if you quiet your spirit, you will hear. You're welcome. Miss Tammy, this is the thing. It's just scary to me that a lot of people don't believe what's happening. You know? A lot of people don't believe what's happening. They're not preparing their minds. And that's a scary thing. You know? With everything that's happening. Did y'all see they said the waffles got listeria now? Y'all saw that? Waffles? It said all states 50 have done them. Interesting. Yep. Waffles is added to the listeria. Yeah. I saw that earlier today when I got up. Waffles have been added to the listeria list. So check your waffles. Check and see if they on the list. It's gonna be some more stuff too. I got a question. Who since you who since you've been here did anybody buy a waffle maker since they came here? You said Sarah said when in doubt, throw it out, and she knows. You did, Lady SK. Did anybody else buy a waffle maker or a waffle pan since you've been here? You did, Katie. You already had a few. Okay. Anybody else? You did, Trina. Yes, you have a waffle maker. You was thinking about it. You already have one. Okay. You did, Amber. Okay. Something simple. Something slight. But when you be having God on your team, everything gonna be all right. You have one already. Okay. I'm just saying, simple things like that. Especially if your kids eat a lot of waffles. Well, now you don't know what waffles to make, but you can go get your pancake batter or get you some flour and a couple other things. Split your egg up, and you could make your own. The breakfast maker machine has one on it. Yep. You said we have a Mandalorian one. Well, however you do it. However you do it. You said my son eats a ton of waffles. Okay. I'm just saying simple things like that that we have purchased since we've been here. People learned how to make cheese. If nothing else, mozzarella. People learned how to make sour cream. People done learned how to make all kinds of stuff since they've been here. And a lot of the things that we talked about making or we tried to make or we learned to make, whatever it is, have all been things that are that we can make ourselves from scratch. Did I'm still trying to perfect my butter. Good job. It takes a few tries. But guess what? These are all things that have been you working on canning now. Come on. So that's what I say. People don't need all that food anyway. Y'all got snow coming? Where you at? Dixie, darling, you might not know where you at, pumpkin. You are in the mix of a whole bunch of foodies, so that's kind of like cussing at us. You're in the midst of a whole bunch of foodies, so everybody probably when you type that they neck snap back. I promise you, because I know mine did, and they act like me. You might not know it, but them is kind of like fighting words over here. We don't talk like that. Everybody neck in here snap back like, wait a minute, we don't need a what? Babe, you said, and then I already know you. I can feel it over here. I already know. Yeah, I already know. Oh no, don't be sorry. I'm just trying to protect you. That's all. Cause baby, everybody over here. You said I know my neck did. I guarantee you, everybody that read that. So you just, listen, listen. You said I was plant based for years. So if there's no meat, we know what to do. What if the vegetables and the beans and stuff is bad? And what if the chemical plants ain't running because it ain't no electricity? Then what? Because they got lettuce on the thing and sprouts and all kinds of stuff. So then what do you do? Because it ain't just meat. Right now, that's bad. It's a whole bunch of stuff that got listeria. Well, Mr. Avery, we know that growing your own is going to be a thing because. Good job. Okay. And they hybrid now. Got the vest. Yep. Yep. So, I mean, because the water that you water your vegetables with, depending on what part of the country you're in, they've been having a lot of fireworks shows. And so there's a lot of chemicals that have now gone up into our atmosphere, and they're going to be coming down soon in the form of snow, or if it's raining real crazy, and we got all these weird storms. There's a lot of things that are hazardous that are being put into the atmosphere, on top of the already crazy carcinogens and all this other stuff that's in the air. But 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 all of these chemicals, right, are going up. Chlorine, gas, all these different things. And then those are going to flow back down into they're going to go through the whole cycle and come back down into the rivers, right? They're going to do that. And then we're going to take that water and water our plants with it. Right? Or no? The easiest thing to do is to tank the water if you don't want something to grow. They've been doing it. It's the easiest way to put a person that grows vegetables for a living at a business is to just mess with the water. So if I want to control the food, I don't just got to take it out of the grocery store. I can just put a certain treatment into the water in that area, and everybody that has gardens, everybody that has uh, whatever else, or let the planes come and fly over and drop certain things into the air, and then they fall on the crops, and then once water hits it, it does a certain thing. I mean, y'all watch Michael Clayton before? Hey, Tom. Y'all watch Michael Clayton before? Anybody? Very good movie. If you haven't watched it in a while, it's a very good. I found a farmer's market and went this morning, and I'm gonna just say they were short on the Florida grown stuff. Interesting. You know we talked about it. I said the crops and stuff that's there, where they gonna get it from if everything been getting flooded and stuff? If certain things are grown along the shoreline or whatever else it is. If you haven't watched Michael Clayton, that's a really good movie to watch. I think it's from like 2007 or 8, something like that. Very good movie to watch. Is it 2007? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So hopefully, hopefully when I do go ask y'all to watch movies, and I know y'all do now. If you didn't when you first came here, I know for a fact. Like if we do movie homework, y'all don't just be watching them. Y'all be looking and y'all be paying attention, which makes me excited because maybe 20 years ago, none of us would have looked at the movie and really thought nothing about it. We would have just thought it was a horror flick or a sci-fi film or something like that. But now that you know, some of you already knew, but some of you maybe didn't never really look at movies the way that you look at them now, and then take that information and just go, look it around and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me excited that when y'all do go watch movies, even like The Devil Conspiracy, like Auntie said, she took a whole bunch of notes and everything is in the news right now. You hear me? So when you look at that and then you kind of see what be going on, watching what was it, 30 Coins and Evil. Um, real quick before I go, did y'all go? I know Auntie said. Did anybody else go watch the Omen, the Final Conflict? Was it not interesting at first? About 15 minutes of that movie. You still watching it? Have you got past the first 15 minutes? Do anything on there look familiar to y'all? And y'all know I made them tacos at 4 o'clock in the morning and ate three and went to sleep. What you have for breakfast, dinner? Circle tacos. I made them at 4 o'clock in the morning and ate three and climbed to the bed and went to sleep. You said have to rewatch because you told us to take notes of the places. Interesting. Did was cooking at 4 o'clock. As soon as I got off here, I said I can't go to bed with my stomach in my back, so just going to make these tacos real quick. You did. Good job. So okay, when you went and took notes, was it interesting to see who all was named and the places and the things that was going on from 1981? But they is our news right now. Is it crazy or no? Huh? Absolutely, I was mind blown. That's what Auntie said too. It was the same as the past. Listen, when I was watching it, I was like, oh. How many leaders in the past 20, 25, about 20 years or so, have been found unalived, or it was some suspicious stuff going on, and then they hurry up and moved another person into their space? Has that not been happening where people are being replaced with certain people? Can we do a hypothetical? Can we do a hypothetical real quick? Exactly. So let's say that Lucifer has inhabited a body or is getting ready to inhabit a body, and people are um, participating in the set of the stage for him, right? So what if he has a guy that he wants to put in place that is going to go along with his plan, and he is promising this said guy all of these different things once his kingdom is formed? Do you think that that person would care about telling them exactly where a certain someone is to get them eliminated? Huh? Because he's already made his picks of who he wants to rule. You hear me? He already know who he gonna put in place because he been getting them ready to take their position in the kingdom that he's getting ready to create. The only way to do that is to move people that he know for a fact ain't gonna serve him in a certain way Move them out the way to put in who he wants that's going to make the people bow down to him, right or wrong. No. Right. All of a sudden, there are these things that people cannot believe that Israel is doing, right or wrong. Exactly. They hitting civilian spots. They hitting peacekeepers. Don't those all sound like things that the one world leader would want to happen? You said what Israel's been doing, they've been doing for 600 years. Got it. Okay. But we talking about today right now. I don't know why these kind of things always come up when I'm talking about today right now. People want to talk about it. You might not have been in the class when we was talking the other day, and I said I'll say something that's on sale at Walmart, and everybody say, "Oh, they got it at Target too." That kind of stuff. I understand what was going on. I studied the history of Israel, so I know that it's going on even longer than that. That's why they had to be sold off into slavery and stuff, because they've been unaliving people unjustly and doing all sorts of evil things. This is why they were the backslidden sons of God. Remember, or the people of God. We know it. The Bible's written to them, and so who was unalivers and doing all kind of unseemly things? It was them, but it was them when they was browner. So much so that they look like me. So the fathers of all humanity started the barbaric things that they're doing right now. The originals, as people like to call them, they learned it from somewhere. Yeah, back to what I was saying. In this time period, as in today, 2 days ago, the last year, there have been things that have been happening that are um, unheard of, or they just can't believe that these things are happening. If the one person that wants to rule over and give false peace is behind all of it, in order for him to give a false peace, there has to be a lot of things happening. So why not stir up the mess and look like the Savior, is what I'm meaning by that. All the people in all different countries, their emotions are high, are they not? But have we not seen that he played both sides every single time? Don't he play both sides? Because he'll tempt us and then go tell on us. Do we or do we not? So could it be that all of these people are participating in things that they normally would not do, as far as the political climate and the international political climate, when he plans to rule over the entire political climate internationally? We know that he'll go, even when he was getting ready to get Jesus done up, he went to the dude that made the nails, and then he went to the dude that made the cross, and then he said the Jews and stirred them up against him, and then he went to Jesus and was in his face telling him, "You need to come on and worship me." And then he had already went down into the bowels of hell and said, "Hey, I'm setting this dude up." He had all, but he was playing everybody, but he played himself. We know that. But he's going to try it again. He's already weaving his web right now so that he can come and look like the Savior. Period. So bigger than who did what and who's not right or who's wrong, who's pushing it all is the question we should be asking. Who's the spirit behind it, which we know, but people are getting so caught up on, I can't believe they did this and I can't believe they did that, that they don't realize that's the setup. Social conflict. You hear me? Social conflict is the problem. He's going to bring a false peace. Well, there has to be chaos prior to that. He's the one causing the chaos, and then he's going to bring the false peace so that he could. Do you get it? He's doing it right now. He's going from one army to another, speaking in their leaders' ears, getting them to do things that normally they would be scared to do or didn't want to be sanctioned. Now they don't give a damn. They just doing it. Because his plan has to come to fruition in order for God to be able to come back. So, I don't know. So they're doing these things because somebody is pushing the narrative of why they should overstep boundaries, because he needs these things to happen so that he can step into his place. He needs it to happen. And it's happening quick too. He needs the disaster. He needs for people to be destitute. He needs for people to be already on edge. Every single thing that's happening, orchestrated chaos. There you go. Yep. So I'm about to go make me some more than tacos because I ain't ate since 4 o'clock this morning. And I don't even know what time it is. It's 6. So there's that. And this ain't a whole bunch of hooping, hollering, and yeah, I'm about to go eat. Because I got up, washed my dishes, came in, well, you know, did what I had to do, came in here, and I've been on here ever since. So I'm about to go eat my tacos. That's the great exchange, right? He's going, yeah. Yeah. Also, I want to go, I'm about to try this hydro garden again. That's what I'm going to do. Because the last one didn't do nothing. So I'm about to try to grow me some lettuce and stuff here in this house. And I'm going to have to start allotting out time to do that, like water my plants and all that, because it'd be a week, 2 weeks, I ain't had no water, and I can't do that if I'm growing vegetables. So I'm going to attempt to get that all together and start trying to grow me some little tomatoes. Really, all I care about is the lettuce and maybe some green onions. To those of you, have any of you been able to grow anything in your in your hydro garden, things that you bought? I've seen some people, they do it and they stuff be flowing. But I be forgetting to turn the light on, turn the light off, and all of that. So I'm going to try this again. The lettuce is easy. I tried it. Nothing did nothing. So we going to try it again. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to try it again. You got apples and lettuce? Really? Tomatoes? Yeah. Watermelon. Okay. I'm talking about in the little ones. Not the big ones. I'm talking about the little ones. The ones that got the little light. You grew a watermelon on that? How? Don't give up. Right, but I'm trying to figure out what else y'all grew. I saw some people that grew bell peppers on theirs and everything. Yeah, I'm not talking about no big hydro garden. I'm talking about the small ones. You did your herbs right. I had put some of them in there. What's the ramen? Get a 5-pound water can. For what? For what? Mm, okay. Well, I was just trying to figure out which y'all grew. It wasn't just I was in here with y'all all the time. Peppers, tomatoes, herbs, and lettuce. Okay. And your little one. Okay. Right. I'm just trying to figure out what y'all grew because I'm actually gonna take the time, and so when I get up in the morning, I'm gonna make sure that I do what I gotta do. Yeah, because you could be growing lettuce like right there. And I did this before. I had cause it's basically a herb basket with water. But when I grew my garden a couple years ago, I had a herb basket that I grew out the whole time during the summer. And then when it got cold, I brought it in and I put it on my counter, and it grew all my sage and all of that stuff. It was still growing in house. My green onions, it was all in a big bag, right? So all that stuff, we was eating on it. It was still growing because I just keep it in the windowsill. You know what I mean? Or where it could get the sunlight. But I've never done it with the water, so that's why I was asking. Because I've done it with the regular seeds and stuff, with the little potato sack bag type thing with the plastic in it. Put the seeds in a little grow pot and forget it. The unit will tell you when it needs to. Right, I got one, but that didn't work. I got one. That's what I'm saying. I got one. Remember, I got one, but I wasn't. I'm gonna do it. I just wanted to know what y'all grew. That's all, cause I'm gonna take the time. But when I first got that, that's when we was in the middle. Okay, I get it, and I'll be on here. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm about to start living outside of this TikTok and doing the stuff that I need to do, like dehydrating my food and doing the things that I need to do too. Cause I can't just keep telling y'all and I'm missing out on time doing it for myself. So that's why I was asking, what all did y'all grow with it? Cause I'm about to get on it. I've grown vegetables outside. I just never grown them other than my herbs and those few things. I haven't grown them inside. So that's what I said. I'm gonna get on that tonight. Get my herb. Okay. Okay. I'm not. Listen. I know that I can grow them. That's not what I was asking. Mine didn't work because when I bought that, that's when we would be online 13 hours. So I wasn't worried about kept keeping the times. It has a timer, it has the lights, it has all of that on there. But I was just asking, what did y'all grow? Because this time I'm going to take more time to make sure I'm doing those things. Like I've gardened before. I just hadn't done the hydro and had it successfully work, but I realized it was because I couldn't take the time to make sure it was doing everything. So I just wanted to know what y'all grew because I'm getting ready to do that. That's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to focus on it. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. I'm about to go make me some food. I love y'all. And hopefully y'all can go and check out those movies. Take notes because I think they're very important. Very, 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 very important. That's what I got. That's what I got. That's what I got. I love y'all.